but yeah, mostly if there's no slimes or red slimes, it could be an issue. So hopefully they'll get something in the throne room to help their cause here.
And speaking of a throne room, here's our throne room. We've got Betastrep using the dog from Dragon Warrior 4 and Tyerenex as the red mage, as we have the fairy water, the fighter's ring, so that 5 becomes 7. That makes the Drakey and the ghost a bit easier, so they'll slap that
Yeah,
on
that's
easily.
actually really good news for sure. And in theory, you could go sell that fairy water for a bamboo pole. But other than that, they're going to be looking for some very small enemies here, and there's a big swamp blocking their way. Look at this.
Yeah, looking like they're going to get railroaded east, and so much about those ghosts, they know hurt more.
Oh, and just the step away from Tantagle is the secondary zone, Poltergeist. So they might be trapped like way in the corner here where Tyerenex is like hugging the coast, hiding from those secondary level monsters. And interesting because Betastrep went pretty much in the same area and found a Drakey. So this is actually one of the best enemies that he could find, and he's doing well here.
Yeah, you can see just that fire's ring dealing 2 damage. Although that might... Yeah, they're dealing 2 damage. If they were at 5 strength, they would actually be, I think, like a 1 in 3 chance to actually hit the Drakey, and otherwise they miss. So you can see how big that ring is.
Oh, that fighter's ring is fantastic right now. It's funny that the Drakey is in this same zone, though, as the Poltergeist and the Drakema. Betastrep just learns the news that he's over the line into the secondary zone, and that has the baby breath. So a little bit later on, when they're looking for enemies like that, that might not be the best choice.
Yeah, Murder Bats with the sleep and the baby breath, and we get 5, 3, 14, 6, something. We get hurt more.
Oh, what a change to this whole complexion of this seed here. Wow. The sleep spell as well, just in case they run into a stone man or something. But now they're looking for those bigger enemies right away.
And there goes 1330. Wow, what a level. That agility is gigantic, because the biggest threat with Hurtmore is that you just get ambushed and die before you can even get the spell off. It's going to be a lot more difficult at 57 agility.
Yeah, I agree completely. And so that allows Tyerenex, as we see here, to branch off completely into other parts of the world. Happens to find a wolf, and he's off and running. We get a good chance to look at the latest version of Randomizer 2.1.2. Look at the geography we're dealing with in these new maps. You got this river that runs all the way around to a couple of different bridges and islands. You have swamp all up to the north. It's just a lot more interesting than some of the previous maps. And right now, if they don't want to walk through this big swamp, they're kind of corralled here in this little area.
However, there are rogue scorpions over here for 70 experience, and Tyerenex just got 25 MP off of level 4, so he's got some pain to go around. Here comes level 5 already. Powered by 2.
And it took all this time for Betastrep. Betastrep just now got to level 2, so he's a minute or so behind. Sorry about that. What was that, the outside spell? Okay, so that'll be useful later. But yeah, you see, this is a dead end. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to go through that swamp, but you have heal more.
I like what Tyerenex is doing of just sticking around in these hills for those rogue scorpions that you mentioned, and this werewolf is fantastic also. So, oh my gosh, already up to level 6. Betastrep just took him a little longer to get those first couple of tiny enemies to get hurt more at level 2. But he's trying to close the gap now. He's a minute or maybe a minute and a half behind just from that very early level. But now it's just about getting a few more levels to the point where you want to brave the swamp here and go find some things.
Tyerenex certainly doesn't want to brave that blue dragon. He said no blue dragon.
And it's interesting that he's not bothering to use the heal more to heal up, because he wants to just one-shot a couple of more enemies with the hurt more spell instead. So he's just going to try and get as much out of this cycle as possible. And then when he takes his next death warp, I think that he's probably getting ready to cross the swamp with some fresh resources. There's that rogue scorpion that you mentioned. It's a little bit closer to the castle. Probably the western edge of those hills probably still has those as well. Great pickup for betastrep, so that's level 4 quickly for him. And Tyerenex almost gets to level 7, but not quite, before dying to the skeleton. So is it time to move on? Is Tyerenex going to see what's out there, finding some towns and caves to make some progress here? Nope. He likes the enemy set that's over here with the rogue scorpions and the werewolves. He's going to go do a little hurt more grinding. Can't say I blame him. Betastrep just now gets the same news about the geography, so we'll see how he handles it.
And looking like level 7 for Tyerenex with this wolf kill. What you got, level 7? We have 2 power, 12. Our agility is insane. Our stop
man.
spells.
Yeah, people knock that agility score, but when it's so lopsided like this, that'll be so good. And somehow still manage to get ambushed.
Typical agility thing, you have 74 agility, and the first encounter you get is an ambush. Although it was a blue dragon, which is a very high agility monster.
I think Betastrep just managed to double hurt more a blue dragon meanwhile, so he just closes the gap just like that. That's worth 180 if you can pull that off. So huge for Betastrep. And this is a tied race already now.
Yep, they are neck and neck with each other, although Betastrep did just run out of MP. And is going to brave the swamp, so we are finally going to see what is out there in that world. Looking like we're on the northern end of the map as well.
Yes, this is another one of those seeds that's shaped like a spiral, where you every time you die, you get put back to the castle, where you got to go east and then north through the swamp, and then you got to make this long walk west and around this water, and only to come back to the south to see if you can find some things here. So one of those situations where you want to make sure in the middle game that you're not dying very often, so that you don't have to keep walking all the way around through here. But early keys. Woo.
Spicy. Level 8 brings 29 attack power.
Oh man, that is this is turning into a jet seed officially. Heal more and hurt more already underway. Heal spell now for Tyerenex. Big attack power, really big agility, and we have keys already for Betastrep. And so we have a chest right here in the inn that he could open immediately. There's a handful more back at the castle. Could potentially look for the sword or any other quest items that might make progress. So getting the keys this early, that just means that a lot of things you can do on your first visit to whatever towns, you know, Cantlin or Garenham or whatever. So could just make the seed that much faster. There's also a basement location under Tantacle Castle where, you know, they're already strong enough. So let's say if it's the Mountain Cave or the Grave, they're already strong enough to maybe traverse one of those dungeons, and we have a silver shield available immediately. So if everything lines up perfectly, Betastrep could gold grind out of the basement of the castle and then come straight back here and get himself full plate and silver shield, you know, within the first 15 minutes of the game. So which cave is this now?
Looking like Mountain, because I didn't look like he didn't go much north or south, and the first step east was an encounter, so yep, those look like mountain steps. So 5 chests in here. No requirements to get to them, so
Red Dragon might be a problem, especially if it's the big boy breath, which it is. Oh, that is a problem. So we're going to want some more hit points eventually if we're going to want to take a shot of Dragonlord Breath to the face repeatedly. You saw that Betastrep is so experienced that he is able to navigate that cave in the dark. Rimbledar, the only town, other than Hawksness, of course, that doesn't have an item shop. Oh!
Yeah, that was a very big stick.
All right, and assuming that Tyerenex will probably find his way back here within the next couple of minutes also, so it won't be a huge advantage to have the big stick too much ahead of his opponent here. It's going to be a fast and furious race with all the big guns at your disposal. As soon as Betastrep gets level 8 with that big attack power boost, he'll have somewhere in the realm of almost 100 attack power already. If he happens to run into a wizard or a demon knight that doesn't really like the hurt more spell, you have other options now already.
And looking like we have Swamp South underneath a Tantagel, and it just opens up.
There was a gold chest in the treasury, by the way, and he knows where Mountain Cave is, so probably not going to go back there immediately because of those red dragons, but the potential is there to get some equipment really quickly.
In the meantime, Tyerenex, looking around a bit before diving into Mountain Cave, is going to find Star Wyvern. Is accidentally going to heal more.
Red Dragon immediately ambushes and Dragon Lord breaths Betastrep, sends him back to the castle when he was exploring Second Continent. So that's 2 turns we've seen out of the Red Dragon and 2 Dragon Lord breath attacks. So there's a reasonable chance that that's 75% frequency. So that's pretty brutal for their future.
Yeah, the last thing a Dragon Warrior randomizer wants to see: gigantic flame throwers with turbo speed.
Yep, can't get away from them, can't hurt more of them, can't. That's just that's the one enemy that's really brutal when they have special attacks. So big stick for Tyerenex, just like a minute and a half behind Betastrep. So even Steven again on equipment and items, and Tyerenex has held on to a slight experience lead, having gained level 8 a few minutes ago. But Betastrep has covered more of the map at this point. Is this the same cave or a different cave here?
That's Mount Cave.
Okay, just not wanting to go in right this second. But he's going to get the big attack power boost right now. Even with 100 attack power, though, red dragons are still going to be a problem. So it's not enough HP, obviously, to withstand that one Dragon Lord breath attack. But he's going to go in a different direction.
Tyerenex is manually walking through Swamp Cave, maybe trying to scout out the monster zone, because Swamp does share a monster zone with the, I believe, Top of Grave, so a bit lucky there. Betastrep is going to find the Silver Harp Cave. Once you get the Silver Harp, you head back to that cave, you talk to that guy, he will take your Silver Harp and poof, and you'll be able to claim the Staff of Rain from that chest, which is required to make the Rainbow Drop, and that's required to enter Charlotte Castle and go beat up a guy.
Yeah, our tracker melee wizard tonight, thank you. And I think he's saying what I thought was that it's the top of Mountain Cave. That's the same as Swamp Cave. So somehow he went through there and didn't find any red dragons, which we saw Betastrep in the top zone in the Mountain Cave immediately run into a red dragon. But so he's been running around here on the Second Continent for a little bit.
In the meantime,
doesn't seem to be much here.
In the meantime, Betastrep just completely ruined that Metal Scorpion's day.
Oh, I missed that Metal Scorpion kill, so that pulls him even again with experience. Tyerenex had a little bit of a lead going, but that would erase it pretty quickly. Oh, and another red dragon. So this time Betastrep actually gets a turn where he attempts to run with 77 agility, by the way. You actually can run from red dragons pretty often. Of course, Betastrep on the wrong end of that RNG, so he's 0-3 in red dragon encounters, and I'm not sure that Tyerenex has even seen one yet.
Oh man, the classic. Oh wait, there were red dragons over there?
What do you mean, red dragons? I didn't have any problems. More rogue scorpions for Tyerenex for level 9.
4-1. Ooh, there's some health, not enough to survive the big boy breath, but looks like that was return. That was like.
And uses it immediately, having, I think, full cleared the Second Continent, or, seemed to clear most of it there, and I don't think there was anything over there except for the exit from the swamp cave, so he now has that information. Might be just taking a death warp in the swamp. There is an inn right over here in Rimeldar, so I'm not sure that's necessary. So he's moving on now. And this kill will put Betastrep up to level 9, so not the greatest level compared to the ones we've seen previously, but they did get a bit more on the HP, which puts them out of the danger zone of getting hurt more to death, I guess. Or I guess they were just slightly over that already, but being in the 60s for HP is much more comfortable. There are some enemies that will no longer two-shot you. And so they are going to be covering lots of map now with very little issues unless they run into that red dragon.
Okay, I think Tyerenex just caught a glimpse of the Staff of Rain cave, so that'll even up that exploration. So, looking pretty neck and neck. The only difference is that Tyerenex knows the second continent is a dud, while Betastrep doesn't. But other than that, look, not much difference in experience, especially with a Hurtmore seed. You see one Axe Knight and boom, 130 experience. That will go fast this early. We do have a town,
so from a strategy perspective, I'm still a little surprised that neither runner has gone back into Mountain Cave, since they know that there's a gold grind available and there's a silver shield and a full plate in the first town.
Red dragons are scary. You know what's not scary? Garenham.
Lots of good stuff available here. They already have keys, so they'll be able to go into the back. We'll be able to see what's in the shop here. There's a basement available. Nice find for Betastrep.
Yeah, without keys, Garenham is just the usual shop, equipment shop, and inn. But with keys, you get 3 chests and a cave. So with the early Rimeldar, they'll be able to get that, no problem.
And you'll typically see in easier seeds runners waiting for this particular town to visit this item shop, since it's a very close walk in order to buy your stock of herbs for the end game. So Betastrep taking care of those details, which puts him out of the range of picking up a large shield, which is available here. But that's okay. He's just going to take the inn and go check what's in the back door here. Tyerenex has covered a lot of empty space now on the map, just not really finding any towns and caves for the last few minutes. But
token in a box. So the implication of that is that one of the search spots is now empty and double gold chests. So if Betastrep can evade the NPC wall of doom.
He was totally trying to go back to the shop before going back here to the basement, just in case this is a dungeon or something. He wants to go get that gear with the gold he just picked up, but they were just blocking him. So he was like, all right, I guess we're just going to go into the grave. This is exactly what he was trying to avoid. And he was just like, all right, I guess we're just going this way. So, yeah. And now there's a stone man who puts him to sleep, so he might, lose his opportunity to pick up that large shield for the time being. So unfortunate.
For Betastrep. Man with the Wombo combo, the sleep attack, and the Dragon Lord breath on a Sharlock.
That whole sequence was just amusing, though. I can just envision Betastrep just cursing about that whole series of events, because now, he didn't get the equipment. He also didn't get to the 3 chests. He gets, somehow a stone man. When he has 78 agility, the stone man puts him to sleep, and just, he's just really annoyed by all that, I'm sure.
I think that was actually a missed sleep as well, so just, yeah, that's no fun. Also, no fun is missing Hurtmores. Don't miss Hurt.
And while he was doing that, Tyerenex made it to level 10, so 4 more strength. Not much else.
There was a good MP gain, like 18 MP, so...
Oh, there it is, yep. Into the orange already for MP, so these stats have actually been moving along very nicely.
Just to clarify on that, Red, which you saw at the start, is bad and should feel bad. Like, the 5 strength at the start was bad because that pretty much gives you the slime and the red slime. And then white is, it's coming up. Orange is borderline for the Dragon Lord. Like, it can work if your other stats are really good. And green is good to go.
Yeah, and we reached green level agility is actually fairly quickly in this seed, so that stat skyrocketed and has sort of leveled off while the rest of them sort of catch up. The 76 MP in a seed where you have heal more and hurt more is fantastic because you can really beat up on a lot of these enemies and not feel like you have to immediately go back to the inn to refresh. So they're just set now. They just need to. It's now become an exploration race where they have to just find the things as quickly as they can because nothing's really stopping them from the experience point of view here.
Looks like betastrep decided to pick up some chainmail for 10 defense. Alright, people in chat pointing out there's also, like, the literal minimum you can get, I think, is in, like, black text with a white outline. Like the Abyss or something. Anyways, looks like Tyerenex is doing a little bit of a grind, just trying to pick up level 11 here.
What was in this stone? I think I saw the Star Wyvern, and it must be some pretty high value hurt mortal enemies.
Well, Tyerenex is just gonna sit there and do donuts and take out whatever wyverns and other stuff comes. Oh, finally betastrep gets away from a red dragon before it can do horrible things.
And I think Tyerenex still hasn't seen a red dragon, so it just shows like the difference in what the runners are experiencing. While Tyerenex puts together a 600 or 700 point experience lead, betastrep gets sent home to the castle a few times by the red dragon. So here's level 11 now.
Well, that was some good strength and health.
Yeah, no new spells. Maybe he was hoping for repel to cover this map just a little bit faster.
Okay,
but
so
yeah, the stats are moving along.
Big thing about that level is now Tyerenex can survive a single shot of Dragon Lord breath.
Yeah, this might be the time to go into that mountain cave, which they've both been ignoring. It's right near start.
And
what the?
Not a fairy water shop Tyerenex.
Well, he was told to go south, so maybe there's something good to the south, like the mountain cave, for example.
Okay, so betastrep, Beck, and Garen Ham maybe gonna give this another go. Now he's got the large shield for another 10 defense, so got some adequate defense, unless like Dragon Lord Breath flies his way, but he'll fix that in about 500 experience. Gonna get back in here, and we're gonna have dueling caves here, so we're not gonna have dueling caves.
That was mountain cave again for Tyerenex, and I'm kind of wondering if he keeps thinking that that's tablet cave and just nopes out of it because he hasn't found any torches yet. Well, you bonk north and south, and
tablet cave would make itself obvious after like 2 steps east, though, because you would take 1 step and immediately bonk. We got gold, we got I think an herb, and more gold.
Alright, so the quest items for the most part have remained hidden. Betastrep did find that token in a chest. But we're still looking for the harp and the stones, which have to be in chests. So that's why we're going to be diving deeper into the grave here for betastrep.
Yeah, betastrep's going to go deep grave. Meanwhile, green dragons have stop spells, so that's at least one nice thing. Looking like Tyerenex is going west here and is finding a big old hollow swamp. Oh, look, it's a red dragon.
Oh, his first encounter, I believe, with the red dragon. I think he actually tried to fight it because he hadn't seen one yet. Doesn't have the bad news, but now he knows. So, if he does go into that mountain cave soon, he'll have the information. If he happens to encounter a red dragon, you might want to try to run away.
Yeah, Tyerenex thought he was ready to fight a red dragon.
I don't blame him. This
for
attack power with the Erdrick Sword is getting there. I mean, if it was an easy red dragon, he probably could win. So it was worth taking a swipe, but no, not this red dragon, at least not until you get Erdrick's armor, which is another thing we haven't talked about much. We're going to want some search spots pretty soon. So if you want to elaborate on that while we see the fourth chest here. Torch.
Look at that fire. We have towns. They are called Cole, Cantlin, and Hawksness. In Cole, there is a spot you can search 4 steps south of the water tower on the north end of the map. In Hawksness, there is kind of a ruined shop on a forest tile behind 2 swamp tiles. When you step on that tile, you'll get into a forced fight. And if you can beat that forced fight, you can search that tile. And then Cantlin, at the southern end, behind some key doors, there's an old man. And what he will do is, if there is something on the overworld that is searchable, he will give you the coordinates to that spot. You go there and you search for an item. Quickly. And it's a magic key, so Grave pretty much has nothing. Bishop's just gonna leave, not gonna go for the gold grind. Anyways, so search spots. 3 items there. The Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, because it does like a ton of stuff. The fairy flute, which will put the golem to sleep, and the Erdrick's token, which is pretty much a plot item. However, the token has already been found in a chest, so that means one of these search spots will be empty. We have towns.
So
Betastrep is Brecht.
Smashy, what do you think about this play to just forego this gold grind in a seed where he already has Erdrick's Sword, he's got some good stats, good spells, he picked up the large shield already. Now he knows the silver shield and the full plate are right there in that first town, and he knows there's a gold grind, and he wasn't that far out on the map. Garenham was one of the first towns that they found. So wouldn't you think to just maybe death warp out of that bottom grave and take the silver shield and the full plate, or do you like this play of just skipping it?
Yeah, I'm guessing Beta, after not having found any plot items, just decided, I'll just get out of the mountain cave. 8/4/1/1 spell of repel, I believe, as Tyerenex went to level 2. We got some important stuff going on there. We're gonna have a search. We're going to have Erdrick's armor and Hawksness with an Axe Knight. So jackpot
huge. This is huge for Tyerenex. He can stay here for a while, maybe even go all the way to a death warp situation. He could grind a full level on this Axe Knight and get himself just about ready to fight the Dragon Lord with just, he just has to run through these dungeons and pick up the quest items. But it's huge to have the armor under your belt. When you fight that red dragon, you'll be taking way less damage with the Dragon Lord attack. If you get a few more HP, you could start to get to where you can actually fight red dragons, because 48 max damage from Dragon Lord breath now that he has the armor. That's a huge pickup.
Yeah, the problem is he can't survive 2 breath attacks, so it'll just kind of force him into constantly healing. So he can't quite fight the red dragon yet. But still good pickup, because Erdrick's armor does like a bajillion things. Like it gives you the best defensive power of any armor in the game. You are now completely immune to the stop spell. Hurt more, Baby Breath and Dragon Lord Breath are reduced by 1/3, as you see there. Suddenly, this is dealing a whole lot less damage. I don't think that strategy is going to work. The run strategy was pretty good, however. You regenerate 1 health per step, and you are now completely immune to Swamp and the really nasty 15 damage tiles. So that big swamp right outside of Tantagel, no big deal.
I'm not sure I've seen this red dragon do a single turn that was not Dragon Lord breath. So Tyerenex unable to run from that particular one, so finds himself back at the castle. Both of them have taken a handful of deaths from red dragons, and from not much else. They're virtually indestructible from every other enemy right now. But that red dragon has popped up in several different zones throughout the overworld, and we're just curious, of course, how many zones within Charlotte Castle they'll be running around in as well when it comes time for that.
Yeah, it is indeed 75% Dragon Lord Breath and 25% heal, because why not? Although with the strength going as it is, they can probably just blow through heal no problem if worse comes to worse, and there's...
Yep. That'll almost be like a welcome sight, like, oh, he's not breathing fire on me, he's healing instead, so now I'll just kill him. But that is going to be the major obstacle that we've seen so far in Charlock. Tyerenex has got to start going into some of these caves soon. He's almost ready to fight the Dragon Lord, and still not going into that mountain cave. Yeah. He doesn't have any quest items yet. And it's almost go time.
In the meantime, I think Betastrep's actually walking all the way back up. He might take a pit stop in Rimmildar for full play, but then I would suspect his next move is getting like 1 million. Ooh, okay, so the green dragons at least suck. Unless you miss hurt more and then they block your spell. In which case you just stab them to death. So really, they still suck. But yeah, Tyerenex doesn't have to worry about search spots anymore because...
Oh, look at this. Woo! I've seen that more often than I feel like is, than we should. That should be like almost the rarest thing ever, but that's a funny situation for that town. You're actually going to have to enter the town, and then when you exit, while you're still standing on top of the town tile, that's how you're going to be able to place your rainbow drop when it comes time for the final push here. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Cantland making itself relevant whether our runners like it or not. You don't even need this. Well, Tyerenex does not know about Garenham, so this could be a problem. No, it's not going to be a problem. Coordinates guy has nothing.
All right, so flute in the chest, that means. So, because didn't we see... Oh, I guess maybe we didn't see both the other search spots.
I don't think we've seen Cole yet, so there's a...
Yeah, I thought we had seen Cole, but I guess we haven't. So, and the scale's been donned, so they're all evened up on that regard.
Anyways, Betastrep, Mountain Cave, Stones of Sunlight, first chest. Going deeper, unless he dies a horrible red dragon death. Nope, gets away.
All right, and this is a whole new zone. All you have to do is get to that stairway, and there's a good chance that there's no red dragons down on this floor. So there's 4 more chests, and he's going to level up.
Unfortunately, Mountain Bottom and Grave Top share zone. So no red dragons with Dragon Lord Breath, just Stone Man with Dragon Lord Breath. And another loose key, because why not? And, well, Snowman.
Now, Stoneman had sleep as well, right? So
yeah, it had the full wombo combo. Bishop
Death Necklace,
and
the harp.
The Silver Harp.
This is what I'm saying. For some reason, Tyerenex avoided this cave the whole time. It's near start, and it's like you could be basically done and not have to even look for anything. You could be... Now, Betastrep has all the items, and he could take a Death Warp out of here if he wants the Silver Shield.
Yeah, there's
all he's got left is the armor.
Yeah, Betastrep just needs to find Hawksness, and he's pretty much in grind and go. Although I do imagine he might be wanting to go. I think the only reason he'd be going for this chest is to make the Death Warp easier.
And not only that, but Tyerenex had a pretty decent experience lead to make up for some of that, but now he's given a lot of that back, getting just all the wrong encounters, running into golems and having to run from red dragons, and Betastrep's found some decent enemies in this cave. So even the experience lead is dwindling, and he's way behind on items now. But here's a town for Tyerenex, so he's finally found Garenham as well. So the token is back here. If he opens these chests, he'll have that.
Unfortunately, he's gonna see the grave and probably full clear it for nothing. Betastrep walking out, I guess, just looking to...
I could still see this being okay for Tyerenex, though. He goes down here, clears the grave out, but then maybe takes the Death Warp and does the gold grind, runs by to Rimmeldar, gets the Silver Shield, and then Mountain Cave is right there. So then at that point, he could be, without really running around doing too much extra stuff, he'll be done with items as well. So
in the meantime, Betastrep just swung at a red dragon and completely missed. And the red dragon said, I am disappointed.
All right, so here's that Silver Shield grind, and I haven't actually explained this in a while in any of my broadcasts, so I guess I'll give it a shot, is that the game has a special way of keeping track of which chests and how many chests you've opened until you go out onto the overworld, in which case that count resets. But if you are opening chests in various locations without ever having gone out onto the overworld, the game overflows after the 8th chest being opened, since only 1 byte is used to track how many chests. So once you get to the 9th chest, the game will just allow you to open the chest over and over again, since it's not marked as being opened. And he's taking advantage of that in a strategic way to get as much gold as he desires here. And just going to get enough for the Silver Shield, not going to bother with the full plate upgrade, which is also in Rimmeldar. I guess he knows that his probably the very next thing that he's going to be looking for is Erdrick's armor, so why bother with the full plate? But this should set Betastrep up for a pretty good end game where he's going to have high defensive power, and as soon as he gets that armor, he'll be in grind and go mode.
Okay, I'm taking a look at Tyrenex's side. I don't think I've seen anything that could actually kill him. That may be why Betastrep elected to leave grave. Maybe there's just nothing down.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe there's just nothing down here that could kill him real fast.
I got you now. That would make sense now. That why he just outsided out of the grave so immediately. Interesting. And if he spends a lot of time trying to force it, that could be a pretty big time sink. You could potentially try and use the Fighter's Ring or the Dragon Scale against this Warlock, and the Warlock might do, 5 damage to you every turn or something. It could take a really long time, so see what happens after he gets this chest. Silver Shield picked up for Betastrep, and Tyerenex agrees and immediately casts outside as well. So both runners taking the same approach on that.
Although Tyerenex just went back in. Oh, it's just going to repel and start walking around. So maybe Tyerenex is fooled into thinking that the cave directly south of Rimmeldar is the tablet, because he's going to keep exploring.
Right, and there's not too many places left where he could be opening chests, because he opened the one in Rimmeldar, he's opened the 3 in the back of Garenham, he's opened the chests in Tanticle Castle, he's now full cleared the grave. Don't recall if he's seen the Stones of Sunlight chest yet, but yeah, there's not too many places left for him to be looking around, for the Stones of Sunlight and the Silver Harp, and now Betastrep upgrades that harp to the staff here, and I think he has seen the Rainbow Drop Cave, correct? So it's pretty much all set.
It's kind of off in the southwest, so it's right where Tyerenex is going now. I think, right there is the jerk.
Yeah, you can see he's looking for more caves, as if I don't know. It would be interesting if it turns out that he's looking for Mountain Cave and it was right there the whole time.
Beta has found Hawksness, so he is about to get some really good news.
Yeah, because he hasn't seen Cole yet either, right? So this is 50-50 from his perspective. And once he gets this, he won't even need to go looking for Cole. Like you said, he already knows where the Rainbow Drop Cave is. And this is an Axe Knight here as well, so he can just stay here. He won't have any reason to go looking for anything else at this point. I think they've seen Sharlock in their travels as well, right? So you are just grinding Axe Knights now, and the experience lead has evaporated for Tyerenex, and Betastrep will start to extend that lead now. So we said early on, Smashy, that this was mainly going to be a battle of exploration, and we could see that Tyerenex has sort of wandered. He's still looking around, covered a lot of map, and just not finding the things that he needs to find. I think he's all the way back here at Mountain Cave, so finally we're going back in. This is exactly what he needs, because both quest items are here, so if he takes care of this quickly enough, maybe he'll not be too far behind.
In the meantime, Betastrep gaining level 13 with 3 power, no agility, 3 health, and 5 magic. So,
oh, by the way, if he gets 3 more defense power, he'll be breaking this Axe Knight, and then he could just grind this thing forever without even going to an inn.
I think it's 4 more defense, but I don't know. It might be 3. I think I get this mixed up.
We might not need too many more levels anyway. We can see by our tracker there, the only stat still in the white is the HP, and it's not white by very much, only need a handful more, and everything else is orange or green. So we could actually be looking at a potential level 14 go mode here, and he's almost there.
The MP is a bit of a concern as well, especially since we know 2 Sharlock enemies have Dragon Lord Breath, and one of them also has Sleep. So, Sharlock could get very nasty very quickly.
Yeah, we have a pretty comfortable agility score, fortunately for them. It hasn't gone up a lot since those really early levels where they were already in the mid-70s, but, you know, having agility in the 80s is pretty comfortable. I agree, though. I mean, Red Dragons with Dragon Lord Breath, it's just you're never quite comfortable when you have that situation in Sharlock, so... Could be worth an extra level in a borderline situation, having that information.
You're never comfortable with Red Dragons anyways, so... Tyerenex, not Tyerenex, Betastrep gonna poke around looking for maybe a nearby coal. And doesn't look like he's gonna find it, though. So it is... So the only problem with this particular grind...
has Betastrep not found Sharlock yet? Because, like, what else could he be looking for now? He's seen the Rainbow Drop Cave for sure, right? So he's acting like he's looking for something right now.
I think he's just looking for a refill because he's kind of low on MP, but he's not really finding anything. So now I'm wondering what that spike tail is in Swamp Cave, because that's right under Tantagel.
Yeah, that could make for a more rapid refill. Especially if that's what Betastrep's doing right now, is just trying to get back to an inn. Is Hawksness really that far away from civilization?
Maybe you have to go
This is
west.
Crazy how far he's... I feel like he's actually looking for something. He's following coastlines and, like, exploring map, you know? Either he's forgotten where the Rainbow Drop Cave is, or he hasn't seen Sharlock.
Well, this is Tablet Cave, and yeah, he just ignores it. Maybe.
Well, while he's doing this, that gives Tyerenex a chance here to catch up on these, you know, errands. He just grinded up the gold for the Silver Shield. He's heading back over to Rimmildar now, and then I think the Staff of Rain Cave was not too far from here. He could pick that up on the way, and then he'll be in basically exactly the same situation as Betastrep, needing the Rainbow Drop and more levels.
I think Betastrep's gotta go more west to find the jerk. Gotta get away from the Red Dragon, though. Oh, look, it attacked.
Well, Getting a couple of reprieves by having that Erdrick's armor, taking less damage, but just cannot get away. 83 agility, not enough for Betastrep. So that's kind of bad news for him, particularly if he is still exploring and looking for something. He was pretty far out on the map and didn't quite get to the end of wherever he was trying to go there. So it's a lot of extra walking. That's basically a pure time sink now just to get back to the region of the map where he was trying to find the last thing that he's looking for. And just nothing but red dragon encounters for Betastrep. This is completely brutal. And Silver Shield pickup for Tyerenex. So we're starting to get even Steven again on equipment and items. Just about a 900 point lead for Betastrep is all that separates the runners right now.
Oh, that's mean. Betastrep took the minimum Dragonlord breath, which left him with 48, and then the maximum of 48 to kill him.
Yep. So we'll get a sneak preview if you ever wanted to actually fight the Dragonlord with 90 hit points. That's the sort of thing that could happen to you. And here's the staff upgrade for Tyerenex. So exactly even once again for equipment and items. So if for some reason Tyerenex already knows where the drop cave and Sharlock are and Betastrep's still looking, this is going to give Tyerenex a few minutes to get into a grind and get going here on closing this experience gap. I feel like he's walking directly back to Hawksnest right now, but I'm not totally sure.
Well, Tyerenex does know where Rainbow Drop Cave is. I believe Betastrep does as well, so yeah, he's walking, Betastrep figuring it out, walking straight over to the jerk, who will not be a jerk. He will be happy that you brought the stuff, and he will give you the thing. The thing called the Rainbow Drop, which you go up to the big C, which I actually don't know if Betastrep has seen that little combo of Cantlin and Sharlock, but...
Well, we're going to find out right now that he has the drop, if he's going to go straight back to Hawksnest and start a grind, or if he continues roaming around the map, which will mean that he hasn't seen Sharlock yet. The lead is down to under 500 points now, and Tyerenex also seems to be still looking around, unless it's just a really long walk to where the Rainbow Drop Cave was, and he's going that way now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. It's just a bit of a walk.
Yep, it's right over here across these bridges. Wow, this is actually shaping up to be a pretty close race then. If he grabs this drop right now, we're all even again on items, and there's nothing else needed to be looked for except Sharlock Castle. And if Tyerenex settles into a grind here, he has an opportunity to catch up. Is he going to check the spike tile on the swamp cave now?
Yeah, it's looking like that. Meanwhile, Betastrep, I think, is just in a zone with like gigantic amounts of red dragons. I think this is 3 in a row, and he's already just about out of MP.
It's interesting because you don't necessarily need the Axe Knight grind in this situation. Oh, a lot of red dragons over there, huh? But in this situation, it's not necessarily that the Axe Knight grind is that much better. Once you have 130 attack power, you're starting to 3-shot blue dragons. You know, if armored knights are there, you can do a quick sword plus hurt more. Once you have this high attack power like this, there's a lot of things you could grind on pretty quickly. You really don't want it to be a red dragon, though. The red dragon's actually just in the cave here en route to the spike tile, which is another issue. Hurt more has no effect, so Tyerenex maybe was trying to do a heal more there, ends up with the hurt more. Betastrep, I think, also going to check the spike tile now. Or he's going to attempt to check the spike tile. See if he can get there. Wow, look at this. They're both having the same idea at the same time, and just a small experience lead for Betastrep. Otherwise, this This is a dead heat here. Nice race we have shaping up.
Betastrep not realizing there is currently no... Oh, Betastrep is going to the second continent to look for Sharlock.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure Tyerenex full cleared this before. It just kind of goes up a little bit more to the west here, but not very far. And then to the east and south, it didn't go very far either. It's a pretty small island, actually. It just so happened that Betastrep was sniped when he was over here early in the game, so it's going to just go and make sure that it's not over here, but this is all time that Tyerenex will not be doing this, because he's already done it. And that lead is closing. 47-21 now for Tyerenex, only 51-12 for Betastrep, who keeps running away from enemies. Are we attempting to fight red dragons? Is that the spike tile? Was it a red dragon on the spike? Or did he not make it to the spike?
I don't think he made it to the spike.
So, the other option is to walk all the way back over to where Hawksnest was. It's a nice Axe Knight grind there, but it's a bit of a hike to get there. Tyerenex pondering his options here. Still a pretty slim lead. And what are we going to do? Got to get at least one more level. I mean, it might be the next level, too. This is the other thing, is maybe Tyerenex just goes into Sharlock right now. What do you think about that? You know, fighting enemies in there. We have 91 defense power. We're breaking a bunch of Sharlock enemies, right? Why don't you just go in there right now if you know where it is?
Well, we'll see. I think Tyerenex is heading that way, yeah. You just have to go west a bunch, and
that's exactly what he's doing. He's gonna go for the diving grind here. Interesting.
I don't know if it's gonna be diving grind or top floor, but first one.
It's just a perfect opportunity for a diving grind, I think, with this defense power. That's one of the reasons why he got the silver shield. But no, he's taking a U-turn. Maybe he forgot herbs. No, he's just, I don't know. We'll see.
That's something you don't want to fight unless you can keep it asleep.
Ooh, I don't think he's seen one yet. So he's getting the information now. Thou art still asleep.
Here, have some information.
Still hasn't seen the DL2 attack, though. Oh, there it is.
Yep, there it is. Here's some information. These things suck.
And Betastrep finds his way back over to the Axe Knight grind. So this will allow Betastrep to pull ahead on the experience. I still like the play. If Tyerenex actually goes in there aggressively going for game, he could actually overtake Betastrep, who's way over here at Hawksnest. He's got to walk all the way from here all the way over to Sharlock when the time comes. If Tyerenex just goes straight in, I think he has a chance to get down to the Dragon Lord first, but you'd have to make sure you're stocked up on herbs, and you got to find something to fight in there besides Stoneman, because that's not going to work.
And you have to deal with these red dragons on
Here's the level.
Level 14 with 3 attack power, 7 agility, 18 health, 21 magic. That is go mode.
Yeah, particularly the big magic bump allows this low 130s attack power to be more than enough. You see straight greens across the board on our tracking system there. It's a pretty good indicator that it's time to get going. The 90 agility should help with the dive pretty substantially. And, HP is way up over the threshold, so that is, quote-unquote, the magic level. So, unfortunately for Tyerenex, he did not attempt the dive and grind, and we're going to see Betastrep walk right past him now. I might have a minor setback with the red dragon, but now see you can withstand 2 Dragon Lord breath attacks, and you can heal more in between. So he's actually fighting this red dragon mostly out of spite here, but It's just the fact that you actually can survive this battle now is pretty good news.
Yeah, you can survive it.
This is literally just because of just that he's angry at red dragons at this point. It would definitely have been
down
faster
goes
for him
the
to
red
run.
dragon. So with the current setup, you have an average of, you have a range of 8 to 16 to the Dragon Lord for an average of 12. It's gonna take you on average around 13 hits to kill, and you have 13 heal mores. So right now, looking pretty good. If you get down there with, I think you can burn like 1 heal more and be completely safe.
My notes say that it takes about 14 swings on average, but which would make it a little closer. With average of 12.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, at any rate, I mean, the stats are there if you get to the bottom with full resources. But if you don't, if for some reason you got to burn a heal more or two, it becomes pretty close now. So it's not over yet. But at 90 agility and 95 defense power, he's got a pretty good chance to scoot through Sharlock without any difficulties. A lot depends on how many red dragons are encountered, since they do have DL2 breath, and they are only a coin flip to run away from them right now. But other than that,
something else that could trip them up. We haven't seen Armor Knights yet, and they could have something nasty. So we'll just have to see what. Oh well. I didn't mean it.
Wait, we could have Armored Knights with something nasty. Bink! Armored Knights have sleep, guys. So, yeah. So if there are zones in here with Armored Knights and Red Dragons, for example, then you could end up burning a heal more or two. That's one of the first golems that I've noticed. So this zone has wizards, werewolves, golems, Armored Knights, of course, and I feel like we saw the 5th enemy, and it wasn't a Red Dragon. I'm already forgetting what it was, though. Oh, the Stone Man, yeah. Stone Man.
Uh-oh.
So Wizard, Werewolf, Stone Man, Armored Knight, Golem. No red dragons in the top zone, but wombo combo possibility here, but
it does look like these Stone Men at least have low Dragon Lord breath percentages.
Yep.
So.
It does look like 25%. Maybe 50 to 75 sleep. I would say 50 sleep, 25 Dragon Lord breath. Here's the red dragon in the second zone. So it's not over yet. He's going to use the herbs here to try and hold on to the MP. Because the MP right now is what allows you to cast Heal More against the Dragon Lord. But currently defense breaking that Axe Knight, though, so that's good news. The Silver Shield is going to come in real handy in encounters like that.
That he seems to be getting a lot of.
Yep. So far we've seen Red Dragons and Axe Knights in this zone.
And gets that Red Dragon before it does horrible things. And continues on.
Meanwhile, Tyerenex is ready for his dive. He's gotten 14 now. And probably going to take an in and maybe get some herbs. And he'll be entering Sharlock with chances to win his run. Just looks like 3 or 4 minutes behind Betastrep, to the point where if Betastrep fails this dive for some reason, Tyerenex will gain the lead in the race.
Yeah, but Betastrep has made it through the second zone. Is just going to hero run the U.
So while we're doing this, and maybe our restreamer, CD Improv, can confirm, I believe we're going to be doing matchups immediately following this race for week 5.
Oh boy.
I say that with a question mark because I'm not 100% sure, but I think everybody should stay tuned for that after this race is over.
Bottom floor is nasty. We've seen Stonemen, Red Dragons, and there goes a Heal More.
And more Red Dragons and more Heal Mores. Oh boy. Oh, that was the first Heal More. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, just his first Heal More gun. Although there goes
he just can't get away. Oh my god! Now it's starting to get dicey, guys. With the 11 Heal Mores, he can still win this, but it is starting to become a problem. Depending on what's the mini boss, how many herbs he has left, how the Dragon Lord 1 fight goes, if he gets ambushed by the Dragon Lord 2. A lot of things can go wrong now. He still has a good chance, but it's
at least gets a
definitely
little
dicey.
reprieve from the Axe Knight for one fight, and then gets ambushed by a Red Dragon.
And now Tyerenex is finding Armored Knights, and he's getting put to sleep. And the Armored Knight has DL2 breath also, Smashy. So wombo combo up in the top zone for the Armored Knight, and Tyerenex might not survive this encounter. And
he's dead.
Oof. Well,
meanwhile,
so this could, if Betastrep fails this dive, we're going to have a close side-by-side dive because Tyerenex is back at the castle now. There's our AI for the Armored Knight. And what's going to be on the Spike Tile? There's some nasty choices for Spike Tile enemies here. And but it's the Axe Knight. None of the nasty choices. You could have had a Stone Man there. You could have had an Armored Knight there. You could have had a Red Dragon. 50-50 chance at something nasty, but no. Betastrep gets the good news. Down to 1 herb remaining, Smashy, and only 11 heal mores.
And a wizard. And not even going to bother with the heal walk. I don't blame him. Is just going to talk to the Dragon Lord, hold B to be declared a full, and shall begin with a nice 43. Hoping for the 25% stop spell or the 25% of not hurt more and going to the physical attack. Oh, does not get the 2-hit kill, so we'll be entering Dragon Lord 2 with only 84 HP.
So hoping for a low physical here and no ambush. Let's see what he gets on the counter attack. But no, it's the breath attack counter attack. So only getting 1 turn to start this fight. I think this is maybe a 50-50 situation. A lot will determine on whether the Dragon Lord has a high HP total, as high as 165, or on the low end, it could have as few as 150. We'll pull that up maybe after this fight is over to not spoil it just yet, but it's close, guys.
Well, he's getting some good rolls up to 52 damage now. Started low, but came back strong. Is up to 52 damage, 64 damage.
Yeah, his range is 8 to 16, so the more double-digit attacks we see and the less single-digit attacks, the better chance he has here.
Okay,
although 10 is a double-digit, and that's below average. But ooh, it's so close right now. 5 heal mores in the reserve, which means 7 attacks.
85.
So 6 turns remaining. 6 turns remaining with 12 damage average.
Well, there's 100 damage.
Oh, 100 damage. So on average, he'll do a total of 160, which is right in the middle. Oh, 11. It's still not time for hurt more strats. He's still going to be on average getting in the middle of the damage range here. The HP range.
That brings him back.
Is it a high HP Dragon Lord or a low HP Dragon Lord, guys? That's going to determine this.
Well, there's another 10, another slightly below average, 134.
And Tyerenex is diving.
Yeah, and now it's hold A and hope. 15, that's
a good one. How much HP does this Dragon Lord have? Is this going to do it?
Another 15 does it.
Oh, he does it on the last attack, guys. Ooh, get your GGs out for a nail-biting finish. Betastrep just barely survives the Sherlock. It was not a completely maxed out Dragon Lord HP. And he takes it down.
Yep. Betastrep wins with an official SRO time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, 55 seconds.
Yeah, and that is pretty jet-like. That's a pretty fast time, guys. And there is the news, and it is a low HP Dragon Lord this time. So fortunate for Betastrep, 152 is enough. He was pretty far over with the high roll on the last turn, but even a low roll would have done it if I caught you. You said he did 164 by the end, right? So
yeah, he would have done even with the minimum.
Even roll. With a min roll. So that's that's why you go for it in borderline spots. Sometimes it works out, and if it hadn't, then we would have Tyerenex on the bottom floor right now, and he has held on to all of his MP.
Well, so did
he has a good
betastrep
chance.
right until he hit that one red dragon. Like, all it takes is one red dragon. I can't
Yeah, you
test
fail
this.
6 or 7 run attempts in a row, and they're all coin flips, and you're like, how is this happening? And here's a red dragon.
Dragon Warrior coin flips. If you want to know true pain, try casting that one revival spell. You can call it Zing, you can call it Vivify, you can call it Why
so
does this spell
frustrating. So frustrating. Totally agree with you on that.
Okay, although it does giveth and it does taketh. I do remember when I was playing Quest Hicks, and the final boss has 3 parts, and I killed one of them before the other, and one of the parts was trying to cast Zing on it to revive it, and it missed like 3 or 4 times until I got that part down.
So Tyerenex, I think, has officially and he about to is about to accept half the world, it appears. So that's the other way to finish the game, everyone. So GG's for Tyerenex on that. And if I recall, betastrep normally does not have his mic situation in such a way that it jives with Discord very well. So we may not get him in here. I'm not sure if we're going to have Tyerenex in here for a few words. But other than that, guys, make sure you stick around because we are going to be going into the matchups for week 5.
Okay, so betastrep will be in chat. Tyerenex does not have a working mic right now. So looks like we're just going to be going with the chat.
Is in chat now. I see the wave. So GG, very nice run, very quick time, and congrats on that. It must have been a little bit stressful trying to get through Sharlock there. If you want to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about your hunting around for, I think it was Sharlock was the only thing you hadn't seen. It took a little while there as well. And I love that we just have this red screen, just that it just stays there. Like if you play the game in this way and you do this, it literally, like, you can push all the buttons you want and you won't get off the screen. You literally, and with the old NES days, you had to push the power button or the reset button on your physical NES to get off the screen. So amazing. So betastrep says, I knew they had sleep, but not DL breath. So Stonemen and Red Dragons were terrible. New Sharlack had to be southwest of Rimaldar somewhere after the second continent was empty. Yeah. So Tyerenex had gotten through the second continent on his first journey over there. It wasn't a very large continent, but you did get sniped on your the first time you were there. So you took the time to go over to the second continent. You were looking around for Sharlock for a little while there, but it worked out okay because you did a really good job rounding everything up much more quickly. So that was the only last thing that you were looking for, and then there wasn't much grinding required. It was pretty much go time at level 14. So, yep, I'm not sure. So you're saying was it the AKs that you had seen, but you didn't know they had Dragon Lord breath? Because Smashy and I were saying,
I kind of commentators cursed it like, hey, we haven't seen an Armor Knight yet. They could be nasty. And then immediately one shows up and puts you to sleep.
Yeah, and later on it had Dragon Lord breath also we saw for Tyerenex. Wombo
yeah,
combo.
And it actually took Tyerenex out. He was behind anyways, but that pretty much just sealed it. So, yeah, that was a really nasty Sharlock that for once you actually managed to beat in one try.
Hope everyone enjoyed the way that they ran this. Totally solid runs from both players. It just shows you kind of the general strategies that you want when you have hurt more on level 2. And then they did get the sword pretty quickly. They both got it within a couple of minutes each other. They got some good stat gains. So it's all about just running around, doing the exploration, knowing which enemies you can fight, and trying to move through this as quickly as you can because it's a sprint. I know I had at least one race like this Smashy in the tournament, and you're just like, you feel like you just had a workout when you're done with this, because the whole thing feels like you're sprinting.
Yeah, it can just you get that early hurt more, and maybe you get some big strength and Erdrick sword, and it's just like you've got to go immediately.
Yep. So both runners with some good routing decisions in this one. Both of you decided that you weren't going to be able to death warp out of the grave, and you didn't bother with the earlier gold grind. Instead, you went back towards Mountain Cave later on. And of course, there were plenty of things that could send you home from Mountain Cave, so you did the gold grind at that point. At first, Betastrep, if you're still there, I wasn't sure if maybe you were planning on actually skipping the silver shield because you had the sword and the large shield already. But then it turned out you just went over to Mountain Cave where there were some enemies that could send you home, and then you routed it back that way. Got the silver shield on the way back after getting all the items out of Mountain Cave. Both of you guys actually skipped the Mountain Cave for a long time as well, even though it was near start, which is kind of an unusual tactic that we saw both of you guys use today. It just, the enemy set just wasn't kind, and you guys just decided you could do it later since you already had the sword. A lot of times it's not as much of an emergency to explore a cave if you already have the sword, since that's like the main thing that you'd be looking for.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty reasonable thing. Just you don't have to deal with the red dragons at the moment. Get your stats up, and then once you can get away and survive the breaths, then you go for it. And so something I do want to announce real quick before we continue on, there was a bit of a thing with a really close race, but that has been sorted out, and we're not going to need an overtime race for that. So once this interview is done, we are going into the 5th week draw.
So here's the thing that Betastrep just pointed out in chat, Smashy, is he specifically didn't go for the diving grind on 13 because they were still at that time, I think, under the HP threshold for withstanding the 2 Dragon Lord Breath attacks. So he decided that making the side trip over to Hawksness to fight Axe Knights, would make it less likely that you'd be sent home by the double Dragon Lord Breath.
I've kind of saw it with how he was dealing with red dragons in the overworld, just heal-mooring until he got that low Dragon Lord Breath, and then trying to run, and that would be and you basically can't do that on a diving grind. Diving grind, all you can do is pick the right encounters, hit him with the melee, and try to pick up the sets you need. And it's kind of tough to do that when you have flamethrowers all over the place.
Yeah, as it turned out, there was even an extra one with that armored knight coming up at the end there. It was 3 of the Sharlock enemies, 2 of which were wombo combos, and then the red dragon with just the DL2 breath attack. That was a pretty tough mix. Tyerenex seemed to be able to dive through Sharlock a little bit more successfully. Betastrep ran into the one super stubborn red dragon, costing, I think, 2 heal mores just in that one battle. And I wonder what Betastrep, if he was thinking about what happens if this mini boss is like a real problem. And then the reprieve, it ends up being the Axe Knight, which is like, oh, thank goodness.
Okay, something I do kind of want to ask real quick. If you had gone any lower on MP after seeing that Axe Knight, do you think you would have tried to have grinded for 15 right there to hope for the big strength level?